How do you make a positive action permanent? Not a New Year's resolution or a burst of energy or an Instagram reel that fires you up for 6 minutes, but something meaningful and that lasts you for the rest of your life. It's all about mindset, baby. Welcome to the weekend, everybody. This is your bFIT bonus. Hey, everybody. Welcome to bFIT bonus. This is we'll call it the walk it out version of Balanced Fit Radio. Just a few ideas you can carry with you into the weekend and not worry about dropping them on your foot. I'm Scott. Let's get into it. I was finishing up a personal training session with a client recently, and as we wrapped up, I asked him, as I do, about his nutrition plan. Now, whenever I ask this question, his modus operandi is to give me a letter grade. I want to stop a couple things as preface before I go any further. First, I only ask him this about once a week. I'm not interested in creating a feeling of constant pressure or like a surveillance state or something like that. What did you eat today? No. Second, I never ask from a place of judgment, only service, only progress, only figuring out where someone might be stuck so I can help. And for the third time in a row, he gave himself a C+. So I asked him a simple question. What can I do to help you push that to a B-? Not an A+, not perfection, no gold stars and unicorn stickers, just a small attainable improvement from where he'd seemingly been stuck. And his response was actually really solid. He said, "You've been doing everything I need. The next step is on me." That's ownership and accountability, and that's a good mindset. But I could feel something else going on. He didn't need a new meal plan, and he didn't need more information. He's got plenty of that, and I'm always here for him. He needed a philosophy, something to steady him while he oriented his internal compass. And that's where I come in. A good trainer writes workouts and, keeps you on task, and a good nutrition coach builds, nutrition plans. But a great trainer and a great coach listens to the subtext. They hear what's not being said, and they anticipate roadblocks. They know when someone doesn't need tactics, they need framework. And the framework that came to mind for me in that moment is something I've spent years developing, and if you've been with me for a little while, you know all about it. It's called SEMPER. The SEMPER stands for Self-Engendering Machine of Perpetual Effectiveness and Resolve. Yeah, I know, that's a mouthful, so let's break it down like human beings here. Self. This is where it starts. You can look outward for help, guidance, and resources, to be sure, but unlocking your potential begins with you. Engender. To produce, to cause, to generate momentum instead of waiting for it. The machine. A system of interconnected parts working together to perform meaningful work. That's you and your body. Perpetual, ongoing, unending, not dependent on motivation or mood. Effectiveness, not perfection, practicality. Results that actually matter in real life. And resolve is willpower, courage, and the ability to stay the course when things aren't fun. That's SEMPER. So how do you start? And here's the part that everyone wants to skip. You don't start with everything. You start with one thing, one action that benefits future you, something attainable, something you already know you should be doing. Putting your shoes away instead of kicking them off at the door, not leaving dishes in the sink, eating one less junky thing, going for a short walk. Whatever the thing is, pick one. And then, regardless of how you feel, you do it. No drama, no negotiation, no waiting for the right mindset. You square your shoulders and you do the thing. Then you do that one thing again tomorrow. And then you do it again and again and then again and the next day and the next. You put it on a zero fail priority until it ceases being something that you do and becomes part of your background operating system, something that perpetually runs on its own energy. It becomes almost autonomic, like breathing. Then, and only then, you begin the process with the next thing you need to tackle. That's how improvement becomes self-engendering. All right, so why is this important for the body, mind, and spirit? The old wellness triad. It doesn't require deep thought to understand this. You either entered or are considering entering the world of fitness to feel better in some fashion. So take it all the way. When you feel better, you perform better. When you perform better, your outlook improves, and here's where it really gets awesome. When your outlook improves, you attract better people into your orbit, people who elevate you instead of dragging you into a codependent pit of misery, or worse, just letting you drift and spin. And maybe, just maybe, that nudges you toward taking better care of your body, mind, and spirit. Maybe you become someone your kids look up to. Maybe your presence becomes stabilizing instead of draining. Maybe people want to be around you because you're solid. You become a fountain instead of a drain. You're feeding goodness into the world. At that point, you don't need fame. You don't need status. You don't need a platform. You don't need any of that nonsense. You're an asset and a source of light. You're a springboard for the growth of others, and I cannot think of a better thing to be. Here's a classic trap that keeps people stuck. Believing that small progress doesn't matter, that if it's not dramatic, it's pointless. The reason people often freeze is because they create an existential to-do list that feels overwhelming. Your life is a gift. It's sacred and worthy of elevation, and there are things in your life that need doing and need enjoying. So let me ask you this. Why does the idea of months of exercise keep you from doing 20 jumping jacks? Why does the thought of writing a book keep you from writing one sentence? Why does folding all the laundry keep you from pairing a few socks? Because you're thinking too broad, too far down the line, too big picture, and it's causing paralysis. And there's an old proverb. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that's how you tackle any problem. One bite at a time. Any roadblock, anything that jumps up in front of you that's causing you friction, if it seems too big, one bite at a time. 1 moment, 1 minute, 1 half day. Make it to the next meal. Make it to the next time you get up out of bed. You can't live the sum of all your days each and every day. That's unattainable, and it's setting you up for existential failure. You live this moment, now. You do what needs to be done now, in this moment, and you move forward. Don't think in terms of the whole. Live now and make now the best you can. The entirety of your life only matters when it's over, and the quality of your nows determines the quality of the whole. The more effective nows you string together will ensure a complete life you can rest with at the end. Momentum is built one step at a time. It can't be discovered as a complete set and used at your convenience. So take small actions. Put your shoes on and walk for 5 minutes. Read or write for 90 seconds. Skip one latte and put that money in a jar. Sit in the grass for a minute in the morning. I promise you this. A 5-minute walk becomes a mile. A mile becomes 30 minutes. 30 minutes becomes a 5K with friends for charity. That's how SEMPER works. You didn't change your life overnight. You realized that something is in fact not nothing. Only nothing is nothing. And that's exactly what you get when you refuse to respect small gains. And that's how you make a positive action permanent. All right, now, that is it for this bFIT bonus. No homework or gold stars, no unicorn stickers, like I said. Just a reminder to move a little, think a little, and live like future you actually exists. Take this with you into the weekend. Keep what's useful and leave the rest behind. And I'll leave you with this thought from the Buddha. We are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. When the mind is pure, joy follows like a shadow that never leaves. Enjoy your life. Take care of your body, your mind, and your spirit. Not perfectly, just honestly. Have a good weekend. Be well, and I'll talk to you soon.